Bye! My name is Josh Miller. I own Riverstone Kennels, and I've been training gun dogs for more than 16 years. I have field trialed, I've hunt tested, but at the end of the day, I'm a duck hunter. You might find that the duck in our Duck Dogs podcast is spelled uniquely. The UK stands for my British Labs. I love my British Labs. I love what they offer me, both as a part of my family and the high motor in the field. As you're going to find, I have some pretty special dogs. Follow along in our podcast series here as we talk about both in the field hunting and in the field training situations that will hopefully help you progress with your dog at home. Welcome to another episode of Duck Dogs, everybody. I'm Josh Miller. And before we get going, let's be sure to thank our sponsors. So thank you to Eukanuba. Eukanuba is the presenting sponsor of this show. Eukanuba Premium Performance Sport 3020 is the blend of food that I feed my dogs and have my dogs there at the kennel are on that food. And they have been doing phenomenal on that food, from hair, coat, to energy level, to recovery, to you name it, weight. They just look fantastic. They act fantastic. I would highly, highly recommend trying this food out if you're looking for a premium food to put your four-legged hunting partner on. And if maybe you have a dog that doesn't need so much of a fat protein ratio, maybe something you're in the off season, you want to back off a little bit, they also have lighter blends such as the 2616. So go check out www.eukanuba.com. Also, thank you to Lucky Duck. Lucky Duck is your 5-star crash test rated kennel, both in the intermediate and in the large sizes. So no matter how big or small your four-legged hunting partner is, you can be sure that they're traveling as safe as they possibly can. www.luckyduck.com. Thank you to Gun Dog Supply. Gun Dog Supply is your one-stop shop for all of your hunting and training needs. So whether you are restocking from the hunting season or gearing up as you go into training season, go check them out, www.gundogsupply.com. Also, thank you to Kent Cartridge. Kent is the shotgun shell that we shot all of this year, all of the years past, actually, and love specifically the bismuth. I just love that Kent bismuth. But then as we go into the training season, go check out those Kent poppers because it's also a great training tool to be able to keep safe. You're not shooting live rounds, but you're still getting what you need to out of that training. So go check out Kent Cartridge. Thank you to Sitka Gear. Sitka Gear is your premium option for not only your outdoor clothing, but your everyday wear as well. www.sitkagear.com will keep you out in the field and more comfortable for longer. And last but not least, thank you to Retriever Roadmap. Retriever Roadmap is your premium option for online training to walk you through training your own dog at home. www.retrieverroadmap.com. All right, everybody, so I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. It's one of those things I personally don't get into a ton, but I've learned over years of marriage that it's one of those that you do participate in. We actually just went through a little bit of a flu bug at our house, and so my family was kind of down for the count. It was like one of those 24-hour things, so we were like crazy down yesterday, and like today I feel totally fine. But needless to say, it's just one of those things that you just kind of fight through, and especially with the kiddos, it makes it really not fun. But happy to be back at it. We're heading into Pheasant Fest, so back from Great American Outdoor Show, going into Pheasant Fest, speaking at the show here this weekend. And I'm gearing up myself for a little different set of questions. Okay, so out at Great American, there's a lot of very I guess you'd call it elementary type questions. At least we as a group would think of it this way. How do I get my dog to like other people? There was one lady, and this is no joke, asked how she could get her 2-year-old pit bull to stop wanting to eat people, is the way that she put it. just a little different show. That show is so broad. They have everything from boating to fishing to archery to everything, videography. I mean, they had a whole bunch of different stuff there. So it's not specifically a dog show. And although Pheasant Fest may not specifically be a dog show, it is very dog centric. So many people that are there have dogs, and so there's a lot more detailed and more advanced type questions, which I get excited about. Not that I don't get excited about the other ones, but I get more excited about talking a little more in depth about a certain situation or a certain environment. So here's what I'm going to pose to you guys, because I find myself in this kind of lull in my season right now, right, where we just came off of the hunting season. Okay, now we're going to go into the training season, but we have this buffer up here in Wisconsin. Okay, so my buddies down south are probably like, what are you talking about? This is a training season right now, which is great. I'm envious of you. Not so much up here. So where I live right now, we have had 60 inches of snow, over 60 inches of snow this year. And that's a 6-0, not a 1-6, 6-0. So we've had a lot of snow. We've also had a lot of ice, and it'll be a long time before we get really rolling on stuff, which is totally fine for me because I come off this go September through end of January. February is inevitably stacked with these shows, and then March comes around, usually April. We're good again. We're back to no snow generally, knock on wood. Ice is kind of coming off. Not that we put the dogs in the water right away, but we're kind of starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so this is where sometimes people ask me, well, why don't you get a place down south? And why don't you go down south? Well, it's easier said than done. For me on a lot of levels. For one, the schedule I just talked to you about. So I'm occupied through end of January, and then February is taken up with these shows. So I'm not going to get a place just to go down for 3 to 4 weeks of the year. That doesn't make any sense to me. Plus, I have the kid aspect to think about. So I have a daughter that's going on 4. I have a son that is 2, and I've just been gone a lot the last few months. So that's an important priorities come into play here. So in this lull, it is inevitably more difficult for me to come up with topics to be talking about on the show. During the training season or hunting season, it's a lot easier for me because I can talk about an in the moment situation. So I would like to hear from you guys. If there is a certain topic or question or something that we can talk about, let me know, and shoot a message to me. You can either shoot to me on Instagram. So my personal page is just Josh_Miller_2. Send me a message, ask a question, and we can go over it. I'd love to hear some topic ideas. Also, or you could shoot me an email if that works better for you, which is just Josh@Riverstone Kennels, S at the end of Kennels, Josh@RiverstoneKennels.com. Shoot me a message and try to give me something to roll with here, because again, it just kind of gets like bleh during this time of year for me. So, and especially as we go into March, it's definitely going to get that way. So, what do I work on? Obedience. I do give my dog some downtime too. Like, they need some recovery time. This is something that's a good thing for everyone to just kind of absorb. Like, if you're training 6-7 days a week and you're go, and your dog just seems to hit this wall, like, it's not a terrible thing to give them some time off. I go really hard September through end of January. I like to give them a lot of February just recover. It's not like I'm not doing anything with them, right? But like, we're not going as hard. Have that downtime, have that recovery, put some more weight on, because inevitably we do lose some weight over the season because we are go. Get that energy back, kind of replenish the body, and then we can hit training season hard. So that's kind of how we go through it. But one thing, I'm doing kind of a quicker episode here today because I'm kind of running around like crazy today. But I wanted to talk about a topic that I believe we've covered a little bit in the past, but this has come up now numerous times. I've seen it come up in the Retriever Roadmap community. I had this exact question come up 3 different times out at Great American, and I just got another message on my personal Instagram page here asking about this situation. So the question is definitely out there circulating, and I have to imagine it is because of certain situations that you guys have seen in the season. And that question would be, I'm going to paraphrase because they're all at the same root, but they all were worded different, of course. Which is, what do you do when you are out in the field on a hunt and there is another dog out there that is maybe not to the level of training that you're at, and you're dealing with these issues, right? So you work really hard with your dog, as I would assume that most of us that listen to this do, because if you're listening to this, you're probably an enthusiast of doing this, at least to some degree, right? You're not the person that doesn't work with their dog all year and just throws them into the field. So what are you going to do in a situation like that? You work hard, your dog is very under control, and now you find yourself out in the field in one of these situations. So this has happened to us maybe this year more than any other year that we have ever had. And the reason I say that is because we had to be a little more flexible, especially down in Arkansas this year when birds got really, really stale, and network and try to jump in with other people that had birds, or maybe a speckled belly hunt or a snow goose hunt, and be mobile. But when you do that, you are likely going to find yourself in a situation that, like we did. I talked about that hunt, that speckled belly hunt that we went on, I think a few episodes ago now. But we got invited, we got there, and I thought at the time that Strike was going to be the only dog there. Well, there ended up being 2 other dogs there. So we had 3 dogs running in this situation, and 2 of the 3, Strike being the one, 2 of the 3 weren't steady. And they were running out there on shots, and it was hard to watch from a safety standpoint, because you go back and watch the video footage that Brett got. I mean, they're running out there with shots going over them. It was a hard thing to watch. And it's like, oh my gosh. Well, so in a situation like that, the thing that I think people come up with is, how do you ask someone to put their dog away? Well, I think this comes very situational, because if it is not your hunt, I don't see where you're going to do that, right? So if you invite me on a hunt and we go on a hunt together, and this is your spot, or you got you scouted, you got the permission, you did everything to set this up, like, I should be respectful of that and not ask you to put your dog away, right? I know it's hard, but I just don't see where that comes in, right? For me, if it would, now flip it around, if it was my spot and I was scouting, and now I feel like I've got the leg to stand on. I'd be like, look, man, like, I worked to get this, and my dog is getting the short end of the stick here, so I need you to put your dog away. Okay, that's different. But the situation that has been asked a bunch of times now has not been that. It has been, you find yourself in a field. Well, and this could be on a guided hunt, right? That you just are in a situation that there are other dogs running. And this is just one of those times where the best form of medicine in this is just control what you can control, right? So that your dog is steady. Well, just make sure that your dog is still going to be steady, because I promise you, even the best dog in a situation like this will be tempted to go. So being extra cautious, maybe you're not shooting as much, maybe you have an extra eye on your dog. Control what you can control. Just because you find yourself in the spot doesn't mean that the wheels have to come off, right? You do not have to lose your mental edge and get super flustered and frustrated, because that's a really quick way not to get invited back. But what I can tell you from experience, what I have found, is that people see it. So you get invited on a hunt, your dog is under control, your dog is steady. Hey, when there's a sailor, those dogs likely, there's no way they're running a blind to go pick that up. So then you get to step in and run a blind with your dog and show that dog off a little bit. All of a sudden, those people start going, gosh, like, maybe my dog should do that. Maybe I should work with my dog to get them under control. And now all of a sudden, you become the point of contact. You're the expert in the group, right? Now these other people are hopefully trying to elevate to be where you are. A good friend, well, he's now a good friend. He wasn't at the time. Same exact situation in Arkansas, actually, where he's a hunter, right? He didn't know that his dog was supposed to be steady. And so after the hunt, he even asked me, he's like, hey, why isn't your dog going right away? So I tell him why. He starts going, oh, so like, that's what you're supposed to do? That's what your dog's supposed to do? Yeah. Okay. Well, now I just educated him on something he didn't even know about. right? Now, what did he do? He went and worked his butt off all summer long to get his dog where they really should have been. But, same situation for me. My first dog, I didn't know that they were supposed to be steady. I thought, hey, I shoot a duck, you go get a duck, right? I didn't know that at the time. I didn't, my background, my dad didn't do this. My dad wasn't a duck hunter. He wasn't a dog trainer, right? When I got my first dog, I thought, hey, I'm going to have a buddy to go out with. So there is kind of an evolution of this if you hunt with the same people. If you don't, and you find yourself like, this is just an absolutely terrible situation, that's when you put your dog away. I know it's not easy. I know it sucks. But, if it is that bad, again, unless you are in a position where you're like, hey, this is my dog's hunt, it's one of those times that you just got to do what's best for you. And I know it's not fun. I know it's not easy. And I know, quite frankly, it's not fair, but it's what has to happen. Control what you can control. It's interesting to me that people are finding themselves in this situation so frequently. And I don't know. I think I do believe that the outfitter hunting is becoming more and more popular. I don't know if it's just because of time or maybe because of resources, but it does seem to be that way. And I can get, so a lot of times people will ask me, do you know any outfitters that will allow me to take a dog? Because like none of these outfitters, allow to take dogs. I think it's ridiculous because I'm paying to go. Think of this from their point of view, right? Like think of the majority of dogs that they see. It has to be an absolute nightmare, right? I have to imagine most of the dogs are the dogs that we just described that we don't want to be hunting with, that are vocal, that are breaking, that are out of control. And for an outfitter, they have the duty of you're paying me to be here, but so are the other, 8 guys that are here. And that dog can ruin their hunt. And they are also paying to be here. So I get it. I really do. I get where an outfitter would not allow an outside dog to come in and work. Now, unless you're going to say, hey, I'm going to pay for the whole hunt, but here's my deal is that I get to run my dog. I would have to imagine it'd be a different story. But from what I'm getting feedback-wise, a lot of times, when they're going on, when people run into this, is that they're going on these hunts with other people. Maybe people they know, maybe people they don't know, right? But it's amazing how just kind of this networking of hunting puts you into these environments and into these hunts, in these situations that it is hard to prepare for. So how do you best prepare your dog for this? Guys, this is why we work on honoring. This is why we work on control. This is why we work on obedience over and over and over and over again. Because at the end of the day, for you to stay under control in this, it is obedience. Somebody just out at Great American asked me, how do you get a dog to run blind retrieve? And my answer was, in short, obedience. Like there's no way you're going to get your dog to run a blind and be under control at 200, 300, 400 yards if your dog isn't under control at 2 or 3, 4 yards. It is obedience. And I know, again, it's boring. I get it. But that is what we're going for here. So that was kind of one of these quick answers that I wanted to give. It's funny how these questions kind of come in spurts. But again, in the meantime, I would love it if you guys shot me some message ideas, as far as topics that you'd like to hear about, that you think would be cool, that you think would be maybe are nagging on your mind a little bit, you'd like to hear a little more deeper dive into. Because again, this is just kind of that lull of the year. My goodness, it gets to be a little, now it's nice from a standpoint, like just take a breath, recover a little bit. It's great. But topics get a little more difficult. So if you could shoot me a message, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any topics you want me to cover, and we can go from there. Again, Josh_Miller_2 Instagram, Josh@riverstonekennels.com, email. Let's see what you got for topics. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. If you're going to Pheasant Fest over the weekend, go be sure to say hi. I have seminars every single day. I can't tell you offhand what time they are. I probably should have prepped for that so I could tell you. But if you go on pheasantfest.com, it might be .org. Just Google Pheasant Fest, and it'll come up, and look at the summer schedule, and you will see on the bird dog stage what times I speak every single day. So hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a review on iTunes, and a special thank you to DUK, because without them, we couldn't do what we do here, bringing this information to you.